This is LA Kings Fan Talk. Three guys that don't know about anything. Michael, Rodney, and Rob.
What's up, Kings fans? NHL hockey is back. Unfortunately, the Kings are back to their losing ways, at least tonight. Mike, what'd you think about tonight's game against the Golden Knights?
It was ugly, man. It was ugly. It's hard to watch. It just looked like, they just came back from a long break. And Vegas came back a little quicker than we did.
Yeah, they did. What do you think, Rob?
Very sloppy, though. Very sloppy. All around.
Yeah, it was not fun to watch for sure. Really, I don't know. I think Danault being out is just, you're sitting there, you're watching that game, you're wondering who's missing. Why does this look that weird? And halfway through it, it kind of dawned on me. I think I missed Danault. Personally, I think I missed Danault. And it looked like the whole team kind of did. You say he's your best defensive forward. And boy, did we miss that tonight. It's a little bit of, Jared Stoll said a few times about home plate right there in front is where all the goals scored. And Danault's going to be there for a couple of those at least. I mean, when you score 3 goals, you think you have a chance at winning games, and 3 goals, you're not even close. In this one, it was pretty poor.
Yeah, I think it's a sloppy around. I mean, I was just looking at all the scores for the league today, and 9 goals in our game. There was 9 goals Lightning Canadians. And there's 15 goals between the Sharks and the Coyotes, so there's obviously some rust coming back.
We were going to do a show, a couple days ago, and I was going to say, as far as the Kings lines, how Kempe was struggling earlier, they put him on Kopitar's line, and now he's scoring. Have you guys noticed that ever since they took Iafallo off the top line, he's been struggling. He's back up there, and now he scored again tonight. So I'm thinking when Brown comes back, Danault comes back, how about that's the second line with Kaliev or AA when he comes back, and we try Iafallo and Kempe on the top line with Kopitar for a while. What do you think?
I think you have to split them up because it's too. We've been a one-line team for too many seasons, and that just solidifies us as a one-line team.
I don't know how I feel. I don't know how Kings fans feel about tonight's lineup. Everyone's always talking about this youth movement, play the kids, play the kids, play the kids. I'm one of the ones that want to see the kids play too. But then if this is a little glimpse at what it's going to be, how long will it take? Is this one season? Is this 2 seasons? How long would it take for us to be legitimate playoff contenders with this kind of lineup?
Right. This was an absolute play the kids night, and not pretty. Not pretty.
I mean, you got Bjornfoot, Dursey, Wolanin, Anderson, Grundstrom, Anderson, Dolan, Elias Anderson, Kaliev, Turcotte, yeah. all those kids right there, and I don't know. I don't know if I'm just bitter from this one game. We're allowed to be, right? We're fans.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But again, it's like, I think it all goes back to like mismanagement of lines. Again, Kaliev's on the 4th line still. Like, why is he not moved up if you have Moore and Anderson on 2nd and 3rd lines? Do they really need to be up there in replace of Kaliev?
Kaliev is like tied for 7th in rookie goals.
Yeah.
And he's like 70th in time on ice.
Right. Move him up.
Yeah, why does Moore get more ice time than he does? And Moore has 3 goals versus what, Kelly has 6 or 7 goals?
This is how I know I'm a geek for Kaliev. When he got flattened,
oh yeah,
I jumped up and started screaming, "What the? He left his feet. That was a dirty hit." I'm screaming and yelling, like I wanted blood. And then when they showed the replay, it was like, oh, okay, that was a pretty good hit.
Yeah.
But I'm such a fan of his, and I'm the one that keeps saying I think we should send him down. let's see a couple other guys because I will. It's like we've been saying all along. I would like to see him on that second line, or just even if it's third line minutes and power play stuff, just to bump him up some. I'd be happy with that too. But sticking him on the fourth line, even though you're calling it the third line, I don't think that really works.
Yeah, if he's gonna be on the fourth line, just send him down. Like, there's no point in him being on the fourth line, and he's not even getting second power play time because there is no second power.
Yeah,
play
we don't
time.
have there's no power play.
Well, it's not even that. It's like
so terrible.
what do we have, like 3 power plays a day, and the first power play unit's out there for 90 seconds, and then by the time they get a change, then they're putting just the fourth line out, or not even.
Yeah, they're not getting any chance whatsoever on it.
Speaking of sending guys up and down, the Kings have not lost a game yet this year with Furk in the lineup. Am I right, Michael? If they put him in next game, I think we'll be undefeated with Furk in the lineup after the next game. We'll see. What do you guys think of Alex Turcotte's first game?
I thought it was good. I thought he looked nervous at the beginning of the game, but I could definitely see he's got some vision and he's got hands. I mean, we lost 6-3, so how well is he going to stand out? I think he made a mistake. I don't know why he was going for a stick on that when he lost the stick and left the guy open right from the net to score. But, I mean, first game, whatever. Wasn't too bad.
Yeah, liked his motor. That's good cliche, right? He has a good motor.
Right. I like that he didn't get injured, so that's good.
He almost I think he injured Doughty. Doughty looked a step. He looked a step slow the rest of the game. I don't know if that's just from the previous injury or if that was something after Turcotte. Did you see him wince and like try to check it out and stuff like that? And the rest of the game, I don't know. I don't know how good Doughty looked. So Turcotte didn't get injured. He's just out there injuring our best defenseman. It's like, what the hell? That poor kid. I threw out a tweet about it too. There's so much pressure. I mean, you were the 5th overall pick. Means you're pretty damn good.
Right.
And expectations are high, super high. And I know he has to be sitting there going, look at the top 10 guys that are picked in my draft year. They're all top playing 20. In the NHL. They've all top played, 20. They're I just feel bad for him as far as I know he wants to be good and people are talking so much crap about him because he is injury prone. He is small. He's not developing, blah, blah, blah. He could shut a lot of people up just by coming up here and having a few good games and looking like he fits in at least. Because if he looks like he fits in, then you can sit there and say, okay, it's not a wasted pick yet.
Right.
So I'm just rooting for him. I hope he does well. I don't, there's no Kaliev love for him like I have, but I definitely don't want to see him fail.
Right. I'm hoping he's one of those guys that his game is just better suited for the NHL than it is for the AHL.
Yeah. Hopefully that's the case.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a couple plays where I saw him like try more skilled plays than other guys try. So, it's positive. We don't have a lot of guys that do that. So I think the skill's there. It'll come. He just taking a little slower to develop because he keeps getting hurt.
So who are the Kings due to get back next game?
I don't even know what's going on between who's in and who's out, man. It's like a revolving door.
I think Deneau's coming back on Thursday, hopefully.
Well, the guys that are COVID and not injured, you got Brown, you got Byfield, you got Deneau's in COVID, Mata's in COVID, and Peterson's in COVID. Those are all COVID guys.
Let's say they all come back Thursday.
Well, Brown and Mata just went on COVID, so I don't think they can come back anytime soon.
You're right. I don't. Yeah, they'll be out.
The other 3 guys. Let's see. They come back on Thursday. Who do you take out of the Kings lineup if you play all of them?
Pick one of the 9 bottom 6 players we have. Take them out of the lineup.
How many games are you playing Turcotte?
You got to give them like 5 or 10 games, right? Maybe even more than that.
They gave Kaliev only 1 last year and then sent him right away.
That's true.
And Kaliev scored in that game.
And he scored, and they still said, okay, thanks for your 1 game.
Yeah. I think he's got to get a decent look, I mean, if Dano comes back, then you put him as third line center.
Okay, of our 40 listeners we have,
Oh,
how many of them? How many of them are Jarrett Anderson Dolan fans, and how many are going to turn us off now when I say I'm not? I don't know if Jad is panning out.
You don't know if he's more than an AHL player?
I don't know if he is. Is he our next Mikey Amadio?
Totally different style, but
I
I think,
if I would like to see Byfield. I would like to see
yeah.
Byfield's 6'4" frame fill in for Jared Anderson Dolan's 5'11" frame. That's for sure.
Um, I mean, I think Anderson Dolan's just going to turn into the same thing we have right now. Like, we have Grunstrom, we have other Anderson, Elias Anderson, Trevor Moore. They're all pretty much the same player, right?
Lazat, they're all the same person, right?
Yeah.
We're 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 a broken record. We're watching 9 fourth line forwards try to crack our top 6, and it's a joke. We're just not a very good team, and kudos to us for being above 500 this late in the season.
Dude, and like broken record, like was it like 5 years ago? It's same thing, like except for they were big fourth line, bottom line players.
Yeah,
Now we just have small, skilled guys, but they're all the same.
Well,
that
that
second line tonight, we iced a 5'11", 5'10", 5'9", all under 190.
Mhm.
They're all 185 or lower, actually. So
And I
that's
don't,
that's pretty freaking small, especially a punishing team like Vegas.
it was almost like a
yeah,
Montreal Canadiens line.
Yeah, and that's no bueno.
but I don't like, I don't get it why that line, Moore is on that line and Kaliev's not on that line.
And then he'll say, well, who scored tonight out of those two? You know,
Well, yeah, he's had all the chances. He's got all the ice time and all the chances. Of course, he's going to score, and he still has half the goals that Kaliev has.
You're not a Trevor Moore fan?
I am. I mean, I don't mind him, but he's a fourth liner to me, right?
Right.
Fourth liner on the second line when there's a guy who's a legitimate top 6 future forward, and he's not getting the ice time.
I'm a hometown Trevor Moore, LA area guy, as long as he's on the fourth line.
I can see if you put see, and this is what I'm just don't know is you put Kaliev on the second line for the rest of the season.
I don't. I'm not even like. I don't even care like the rest of the season. I'm just saying tonight with so many guys out of the lineup. Why is?
Well,
Why
I
is
would
he,
love to see him the rest of the season, and I'd like to see him score 15 goals this year as a rookie. You know, because
I think he
you sit
could.
there, because you know how many guys out there that are in the top 30 of goal scorers. That's their trajectory usually. You know, you score 15 goals your rookie year, you come back, you follow that up with a 20 goal season, and then boom, 40 goals, third year, you know, that kind of thing. And I'd like to get that started.
Right, before Chromiak comes in and scores his 40 goals in his rookie season. Yeah.
Ooh, segue.
It's a good segue to the World Juniors. Rob, I feel like you've been watching more than us because I finally got my NHL network today and then everything got canceled. But you were able to watch some of the first few games. What are your thoughts so far on the Kings prospects?
You know, it's always fun. Got to do it the last couple seasons, watching our prospect pool. I mean, it's getting kind of tiresome always talking about how good our prospect pool is and how crappy our real team is.
Right.
I'm hoping it you know, sooner or later we'll start seeing that stuff start to mature for us. But watching the World Juniors this year, what I think is a little different from the previous years is you take a guy like Chromiak, he is the top forward on his team. You know, you Sit there and you look at the Sammy Hellenius and Simon Tyvel. You know, Hellenius is the second line center on that squad. Simon Tyvel's the top winger on that squad, and Finland's probably going to medal. You know, they got a medal last year as well. Um, so they're important guys. Brock Faber for Team USA, he's our best defensive defenseman on the squad. So it's like these guys are real important. If I remember, like last year, Kaliev and Turcotte, they weren't necessarily the top line guys going into it. They kind of played themselves into that a little bit because Zegras had the tournament he had, and he played with Kaliev and Turcotte. But going in, the Russian kid, Karasanov,
Mm-hmm.
he's led everyone the whole tournament in ice time. He's out there a ton. He's a big
How
kid.
does he look? Have you seen any of his
Good.
games?
You know, I mean, he looks like a teenager out there trying to bully kids sometimes. Russia didn't have a very good game that he had all that ice time. So, but he was out there. Who else are we missing?
I would ask you how our number one defensive prospect is doing, but
Yeah.
All I know, who is it that we're talking about right now? Oh,
Clark.
Brant Clark.
Brant
I'm
Clark.
telling you, Canada kicked the shit out of whoever they played today. It was Switzerland
Austria.
or Austria,
Yeah.
whatever, the same thing, right? Um,
Same thing.
and they held the puck. Their Corsi numbers were so damn through the roof. They should have shut the other team out, but they scored 2 goals against them, and all I'm doing. I'm watching those Canada games, hoping people score. Don't care if they win, lose. I'm just hoping people score on that defense, because how dare you?
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
How dare you leave him off your squad?
Yeah.
Mind blowing. You know what? I think this. Been wanting to tweet this a little bit too. They're all left-handed. And last year's squad, when they're talking to the Russian team, and the Russian team was real good last year, they had their entire team was left-handed.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there going, what, you can't come up with your own ideas, so you're just going to copy the Russians and say, oh, I want all lefties, so we're going to leave Brant Clark off, just
Nice.
whatever the hell that idea is. But how do you leave a kid like that that's that good? That's just consensus. He's a top pairing defenseman, plain and simple. I don't know. And I'm too lazy to read what other people's opinions are about why he got snubbed. Well, it's because of this, it's because of that. Oh, I don't care what the reason is. It's just when you got a top guy like that, you don't put him on your team. I hope you lose.
Hope it's like Mike said, lights a fire under him, and then he tears it up for the Kings eventually.
Yeah, we need to start the rumor too. I saw Team Canada. I saw their finalized roster before it came out. Drew Doughty was not on it, and he needs to be really angry about it.
All right.
You had an inside leak, right?
Yeah, I did.
It? Yeah.
I saw it.
Did you see a quick on Team USA's roster by any chance? Can he be upset about it?
I don't know. I don't. You know what? Quick is so. He's like a cat. Just doesn't give a shit about anything. I don't think he cares.
Yeah, I don't think he does either.
Goalies are weird. Goalies are just weird.
That's true.
True that. Ryan McNichols.
Ryan McNichols. Knew you were gonna say that.
Yeah, no, it seems like we still got some good prospects in there. And the Finnish guy, he's small, but it seems like he does really got. He's a good finisher. He was on the first line last year too, right? For Finland.
He went on the first, but he played and he scored last year. He scored in the tournament last year. Simon Tyvel is who you're talking about.
Simon Tyvel, yeah. I don't know. I think I was more focused last year because Turcotte was there, Kelly was there, Byfield was there. A lot of our top prospects, and not saying these guys aren't, Kormiak can be a great pick for us coming out of the 5th round if he. I mean, he had a really good rookie camp too, right? Like he was a total standout.
Well, what's helping him right now too is he's playing with an elite player in juniors, and so whether he's riding coattails or not, it's important. Just the one game that he scored 2 goals against USA, I think, is a big statement saying I don't need. Is it Shane Wright or Connor Bedard that he plays with? Either way, I don't need that other guy giving me. I'm good enough to play, and score against good teams because USA he almost had a hat trick and tied it up late too. It was hopped right over a stick, which I'm thankful for because I'm rooting for USA, obviously.
But like I said, the rookie tournament this year, like he was one of the top standouts too for the Kings. So again, he's showing that he can do it without that guy. That was a brutal loss for Team USA today, though.
Is that the first forfeit in all of the World Juniors so far?
Gotta be, right? It's gotta be.
All right, so what do we have coming up Thursday night? We got the Canucks. Are they still on their win streak?
Oh yeah, I think they're on their. They're still on their win streak.
Yeah, so we have to win this game, right?
Well, I mean, if they come out as sloppy as we came out today, then we have a good chance of winning, right?
Yeah.
Did we talk about our stretch of games that we're in the middle of and what we need to get through?
No.
Well, we kind of came through a gauntlet in our last 8 games.
So we said make a break, right?
Our last 7 games, actually. It was supposed to be 8 games, but with Edmonton and the first Vegas game getting canceled, that was supposed to be our 8. We replaced it with just the Vegas game tonight, so it's 7. We're 4-2-1 in those 7 games. 2 games above 500, kind of in the mix of things. It didn't break us. I don't know if it made us. It definitely didn't break us. We got 3 games against 3 bad teams, if you still consider Vancouver bad, which I don't know if you can. And I don't know if you can necessarily consider Detroit bad. I will consider Philly bad.
Dumpster fire of an organization.
Yeah.
Just Philly's an absolute joke of a team, and they
were a playoff lock. They were a playoff lock coming into the season.
How you have the great Carter Hart? Oh my God, he's such a great goalie. Hayes is so underrated. He's so awesome. You're a joke.
I hope that Jonathan Quick can grow up to be Carter Hart,
Carter Hart wishes he could sniff Jonathan Quick's jockstrap just to smell what greatness smells like. It's just a joke of a team, joke of a fan base.
Yeah, their fans are pretty much the worst.
Yeah, they're up there. They're up there.
Up there with the Canucks. The Maple Leafs.
The Maple Leafs.
Yeah.
The Maple Leafs. Yeah, people don't understand. We can sit here as Kings fans talk about how the hatred of the Canucks, the Sharks, the Ducks, and not in that order. But we used to have a little hatred for the Detroit fan base.
Yeah. The ones that would come into Staples Center?
Oh, yeah. They're, Staples Center, people try and roll deep to Kings games sometimes. And in our younger days, we took it upon ourselves to make sure that doesn't happen too often, without repercussions.
For you young kids out there, Staples Center is what we used to call Crypto.com Arena. But them and way back in the day, the Flames used to have hate for the Flames. But not so much for fan base. It was just the Flames themselves.
I feel like all that extreme hatred you might have had towards Sharks, Canucks, whatnot, Ducks, kind of dwindled a little bit when we won 2 cups. Because I was like,
yeah,
not so much pent up energy,
It's like we look at the Sharks and the Canucks and go, oh, I remember what it used to feel like when we didn't have any cups or anything like that. And And the Ducks will always be number one, no matter what.
Yes. Despite what all these people say that think the Gold Knights are up there now or something like that. I'm like,
Well,
no.
Joe, our good friend Joe, can't stand the Vegas Knight fan base. He freaking hates them.
It's understandable.
Yeah, had a bad experience in their barn.
Really?
Uh-huh.
It sounds like a new segment called Story Time. Let's hear about this, Rob.
Yeah. Once upon a time.
We'll bring Joe on here one time and we'll have him tell us that story.
Hey, here's a question. Question brought up by someone in the comment section on the YouTube channel. Was asking what our thoughts on Chikrin, the stud defenseman from Arizona. What are our thoughts on maybe trading for him, Mike?
Make it happen. He's exactly what we need, right? Mobile, left-handed defenseman, young, 23 years old. It's like $4 million cap hit for what, 3 or 4 more years, and he's physical. We have nobody on our defense is physical.
I could have
Except
sworn,
for Edler, but he's gone.
I could have sworn a few shows ago Mike was saying, "Why do we need to trade for a left-handed defenseman on our top line? We don't need that."
No, that's not what I said.
Well,
I said, why does he have to be left-handed? But this guy wasn't available, and now he's available, right?
so
Arizona's going full
all right.
fire.
So play GM real quick. Who do you realistically offer to the Coyotes for him?
Put a package together, probably first this year, protected this year, like not a top 5, but anything past top 5. First next year, Velarde.
Two first, and Velarde and Kapari. Wow.
Well,
I'm glad you're not our GM.
Wow.
Everyone's going to go after him. We're not going to get him for nothing.
You're making Rob like Blake a little more now, based on you being the alternate.
So nobody's. What do you think? We're just going to get him for nothing?
Don't give me this. We got to overpay. We're like this. We're talking about a trade here. We're not signing anyone.
Yeah, it's
we don't need to
I'm
overpay.
not saying that.
And it's with the Coyotes.
We're not
Come
going
on.
to be the only players going after him. Is the issue here? So we have to outbid other people, right?
No, we don't.
Best offer.
Well, okay. I don't think we need to outbid people because there aren't that many teams that are stocked and have the wiggle room that we do. I think we're kind of in the driver's seat a little bit.
As far as prospects, yeah.
I don't mind giving up a first rounder for him. 2, absolutely not. Because of the prospects we have. But I would definitely give him a first rounder. And hate me now, love me later, guys. But when you sit there and you look at guys like Velarde, I wouldn't mind seeing one and a roster player. Matt Roy. Do they want something back? Do they want a roster defenseman back?
I would think so.
Everyone's going to say Oli Mata.
Yeah, why would
take your pick, honestly, because if he's coming in, that's where you could get. That's where we have the room. Name your price. What do you want for him? We'll give you a prospect. We'll give you a first round pick, and we'll give you a rostered player. Take your pick. But I think those are always packages that are intriguing to other teams when you can sit there and say, hey, we'll give you a roster player, we'll give you a prospect, and we'll give you a first rounder. Those are hard things to say no to.
I think that's about the right price right there.
Make it happen.
Yeah. Make it so.
Like 2 first rounders, Mikey. Wow, you really like Chikrin.
I'm ready to go all in. I mean, well, because like you said, who else could go after him? Carolina could easily go after him. With his cap hit, Carolina would love him. And they have definitely plenty of young players to throw at him. So if they threw like Jarvis and Suzuki and 2 first rounds, who are they going to take? Our package or theirs?
But would they do that?
Who?
Carolina?
I mean, they're going after Stanley Cup. Why wouldn't they? I mean, you're talking about other teams that could go put a package together for him, right?
Yeah.
The Rangers could easily do it. They have plenty
Um,
of young
and
players.
and don't get me
The
wrong.
Senators could definitely do it. They have plenty of young prospects.
I'm not just saying that. I'm just talking about as a start for me. Like I said, first round prospect roster player. Now, if they want more, you start throwing more prospects. I don't think you necessarily get rid of your draft picks. You sit there and say, okay, you want more on top of Velarde? Well, let's start talking then. Do you want an Akil Thomas? Do you want Austin Wagner?
Do you want the reigning MVP of the AHL last year? What do you want?
Yeah.
I just feel like the way that, I mean, I guess that it just depends what Arizona wants, right? Because they're just stockpiling all the picks they can. So I figured they'd want more first round picks than anything. But prospects are probably better off for them. So they're filling their prospect pool. But again, it depends what they want.
So give them Velarde, Kupari, first round, and any defenseman on our roster.
And Mikey Anderson.
And Mike Anderson.
Except Mike Anderson. I think he might be the one. No, not Bjorn.
Because
not Toby.
Not Toby.
So you're gonna want your three lefties to be Chychrun, Anderson, and Bjornfoot.
Not bad.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Not bad right now. Think about how good that is 3 years from now.
Yeah.
Because Toby's 20, Mikey's 22. How old's Chychrun?
I think he's 23.
That right as Chychrun gets into his prime. Holy crap! That's a good left side.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Then we got Doughty and Clark and Faber on the right.
You got.
We'll have Walker up there
Jordan Spence.
if we trade Roy.
All those guys coming through.
Who are those? Yeah, well, we got so much size coming up too.
Not on the back end though.
No, not necessarily on the back end.
Talking back to that earlier, we talked about McNabb, that hit he put on Kaliev. We have nobody on our defense that could do that. Maybe Edler, but he's 35 years old.
But no, well,
that's because we decided to keep
right,
Frobert.
On the right side, you're going to sit there. Helga Grands. Yeah, Helga Grands.
He's like 6'2". He's pretty big.
He's 6'3".
Okay, that's close.
Brant Clark's 6'2".
Yeah, but he's not going to play a big physical game.
But still, you want to talk about size on the back end, though. I mean, you got Grand 6'3", Clark 6'2". Strand is 6'4". He's only 24.
I mean, what I'm circling back to is we should have never got rid of McDermott, is what I'm saying.
Hey, did you see he scrapped with Reeves?
Yeah. He did.
Yes, he did. And
actually, pretty well.
He won. I think he won the fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to mess with McDermott, man.
Yeah.
I don't think Reeves ever fought him just because he knew he was scrappy.
Yeah, they faced each other plenty of times when he was with the Kings, and they never fought.
Are you sure they never fought? I thought they had one.
I don't think they did.
I kept waiting for it every game. I'm like, oh, this is the game. It's going down. It never happened.
By the way, the Russian kid, Kirasanov, he's 6'1", 200 pounds, and on the left side. There's more size on the left side.
I know, but I'm not talking about size. I'm talking about like a physical player. You know what I mean?
I think Kirasanov can be that way.
Derek Forbert was 6'4".
Yeah, you know what? I miss him. I miss him. I was a Forbert fan. I want to talk about a statement Mike made a couple casts ago about just you're saying how terrible our goaltending is in the minors, and I'm still trying to figure out who's terrible. Sparks won us the game before we left, and when he came in tonight, he's actually didn't do bad at all again tonight. Villalta and Ingham and Parikh. We got Ingham and Villalta in Ontario, and Lucas Parikh I think just got called up. He's kind of I think he's going to be pretty good, the Parikh kid. I saw him in World Juniors.
He performed very well last year.
Yeah, and all that stuff. Because you're saying we have zero prospects. I'm not necessarily calling them great prospects, but as far as goalies go, just with our side, they're serviceable.
Yeah, they're serving. We don't have a future number one coming through.
Even when we do, we trade them away, right? And they end up playing on Toronto.
So are we missing Cal Peterson now that there's a chink in Quick's armor?
I think it's one game. I don't know if it's a chink in.
Was it one game?
Armor. That's a good point.
This isn't two games.
We'll talk again. We'll talk again after Thursday.
Well, no, because he had a rough game last game too, right?
He did have a rough game last game, but settled in.
And that could also be he played 5 games in a row.
Right, exactly, which is what I was saying
Leading
into that whole thing.
Chink in the armor.
Does he have really good numbers because he's rested? Because we are platooning him. Is he at an age to where he's just not an everyday goalie? He's a phenomenal rested goalie.
Well, he was very well rested tonight. What happened tonight then?
True. Well, that wasn't.
You
saw. Just look at the first 3 goals. There isn't a king inside of that box in the slot. They're nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, anytime you allow 6 goals, it's not the goalie's fault. All right.
Well, sometimes it is.
For the most part.
Okay.
That's more reflection on the guys in front of the goalie. But yeah, I'm just saying that we don't have. I mean, do you look at any of those prospects you mentioned and be like, yeah, that's our future number one?
Parikh, I don't know. I think Parikh,
Parikh's the only question mark, but he doesn't even have a contract.
I know.
He's on an AHL deal. So
because he's so young.
They don't even have enough confidence in him to give him an NHL deal.
All three of those goalies right now down in Ontario, Ingham, Villalta, and Parikh, they're all under 22 years old.
Yeah.
And that you talk about the development of defensemen, and it takes a while. It's even worse for goalies, right? You don't even start thinking of a goalie till he's 25.
I just don't think they're like heralded as future starter goaltenders where they're currently at, with Parikh being the only exception as somebody who can turn that corner and possibly be a starter.
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Kings do have a
Their
good track
projections
record,
right now.
though, with Billy Ranford just making goaltender. Look what they did for Campbell. So maybe they can do the same thing with Sparks.
This is one of the things forever, being a Kings fan for as long as we've been. I've always liked our backup goalies, and we've always traded them away. And I've always been thinking, man, we should have never traded that guy away. We should have never traded that guy away. I think our backup goalies always do well for us.
Yeah, but then what happens when they leave, right?
Right.
I mean,
what do you mean what happens? Campbell.
He's had one good season. Martin Jones had a couple good seasons and then fell off, right? Bernier's been kind of platooning around the league.
What happened to the professor?
Brent Scrivens, he fell off the map.
Stefan Fise.
What about your boy that just retired like 3 days ago?
Before Ranford, isn't that? Ben Bishop? Well, that was a horrible trade. That was such a horrible trade. Cernak's the top 4 defenseman for the Lightning, right?
Man, it would be nice to have him right now, huh?
Yeah, right?
Right.
Glad we traded for Bishop to be our backup. We gave him a draft pick too, right? It was Cernak and a draft pick. I want to say it was Cernak and a second for Ben Bishop.
Who made that trade?
Dean Lombardi, man.
And he knows it's Chernak, guys, but he's saying it just to make people angry.
Dean Lombardi, man. Made some great trades. And then Lost his magic.
Do we need to revisit your Kupari blinders and your Furk hate?
I mean, hey, we know nothing, and the people in charge still did not put Furk in.
I got a great idea. After Furk plays as many games this year as Kapari has played so far, we'll revisit. We'll check out the
Ooh,
stats.
I like it, Rod. Ooh, throw down the gauntlet right now in Mike's face. It sounds
And
like
then,
let's wager, Mike, is what he's
so,
saying.
so
I
when,
bet you
when
equal
Furk
amount of
doesn't get to
games.
play at all, does that mean I win?
Now he wins by default because he won't be a negative player.
I think this might be a true statement. Okay.
Probably not.
But you would have to probably take out Dowdy and Kopitar. Maybe only one of them, but take out Dowdy and Kopitar. Our cap hit of the guys, the scratches that didn't play, is heavier than who played.
Oh,
I'm
for
thinking
sure.
Tonight, yeah.
You know, without Kopitar and Dowdy, Arvidsson's our biggest cap hit tonight at 4 million, 4.2.
What's
And then I
quick?
follow.
What's quick at?
5.8.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, I wasn't counting quick because he didn't.
talking
Second
He
half of the
didn't-
game. Second
yeah,
half
he
of the game.
No,
no, go ahead and leave quick in there. Quick is 5.8.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's 5.8. Yeah.
But I'm thinking of the scratches with Anthony
Deneau.
Siu 2.7, Edler's
Deneau,
3.5,
Brown.
Walker's
5.2.
2.5, Brown's almost 6, Deneau's 5.5, Olimata's over 3.
Got a bunch of ELC players out there.
Yeah. No, and so no wonder why we got our ass kicked. We got Alex Turcotte playing second line center in his first game. Talk about being thrown in the fire.
Right. He gets his first game. He's on the second line, and Kaliev's still stuck on the fourth line.
I was just about to say that. Yeah. I just don't get it. Like, what does he have to do to get off the fourth line?
He's not a good car.
It's
He's not a good car washer.
It's such a double standard too, because they're just like, yeah, he's going to earn it and work his way up. Hey, Kapari, you're a third line center. Hey, Turcotte, you're a second line center. With the less games and less production.
It's hard to work the wings. You're going to ask someone to play an off wing or whatnot. But I'd love to see Elias Anderson play with Lizotte and Lemieux. Lemieux could play the right side. So go Lizotte, Lemieux, and Elias Anderson. Elias Anderson's fast enough and gritty enough to play with those two guys, and then have Kaliev move it.
Yep.
Yeah, he needs to get off the line.
I think if Anderson is going to stick, he needs to get a lot more aggressive and a lot chirpier.
Yeah, he needs to be Lemieux's little brother.
Yeah. Like him and Lemieux need to just be complete pests out there, because I don't think he's doing enough to stick.
Right.
I mean, I'm just saying if he wants to stick, he's got to do something.
Yeah. Same
He's got to
with.
start.
You
he's
could
gotta
say the
start
same thing
fighting
about
people.
half the Kings team.
Yeah, exactly. At least the only one that's standing out is Grunstrom, because at least he's popping in some goals and he's somewhat physical. But even him too, he's got to do more. Again, if you're not going to put in a bunch of goals, you better hit everything and be a pest.
Mike, how's your boy Sean Dursey doing? Is he still playing soft?
No, I think he's playing good. He's obviously not physical. That's not in his game, but he had some really nice passes tonight.
He does seem to get beat a lot on defense. Got beat a couple times tonight. No goals were scored on it, but he gets beat wide a lot. I don't know. But he's a young kid.
Yeah, it's a young kid. It's the first year he's on defense, and he's known for more of his offensive side than a defensive side. So I don't think he's playing bad. And I like what he brings.
So you're saying Dursey, Kapari, Velarde, first round pick to the Coyotes.
I'd do that.
I'd do that.
All right. Make the phone call. You got approval.
I'd trade Mike Anderson.
Wow. A fellow Mikey.
You got to give talent to get talent, right?
Yeah.
Mikey Anderson was a -2, by the way. Him and Dowdy were -2s, and that was the worst.
I don't know. Kempe had good jump tonight. I'll give him a little love.
Yeah. I would say Kempe's probably been our best forward over the last, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 games maybe.
Yeah, you know what I'm
This
afraid
season?
of though? You know, when we started off the season talking crap about Iafallo and Kempe and then them trying to play well enough to shut us up.
Right.
Ever since we've been praising Iafallo, he's disappeared again. And I'm afraid that's going to happen with Kempe if I start talking about, because Kempe has been playing well. I just love his size and his speed and the skill and the value. I really do.
We'll give him a couple games, and if
And he's feisty too.
Well,
Yes.
you want to know what you want to know what the difference is between Kempe and Iafallo so far this season? Is I think Kempe's just more consistent this year, and that's been our thing we've been lacking the most over the last few seasons is consistency from other players other than Kopitar.
Yeah.
And I think Kempe has played a pretty consistent 25 games. What are we, 30 games? Where are we at?
I think 31.
I'm calling it, Kempe scores again against the Canucks Thursday night.
Yeah, let's hope it happens.
Real quick, how do you feel about? Kopitar only scores. He only has 2 goals in the last 10 games, maybe. I mean, like his whole career, he's close to a point per game, right? He finishes 65, 76 points, and then he had the 92 points that one season. So he's always been right around point per game. So he's still on track.
Right. And the last couple of games, obviously, Dano not being in the lineup might have a little something to do with him looking kind of tired the last couple of games. I don't know.
Do any of you think that somebody will actually finish the season above Kopitar as the top point scorer this year?
I don't know.
For points?
Yeah.
No.
Which is sad.
Yeah.
All right. All right, everyone. That's our show for today. Don't forget to jab that like button, subscribe, and poke that vaccination notification bell. Till next time, go Kings.
Hoorah.